We have to do some setup in order to make sure we can use databases with Java. If the Derby database automatically installed whenever you installed the JDK, you will be able to tell that by going to the location of your Java installation. Mine would be C:program files, Java. JDK 12.0.2 is a version I have installed. You would go to the one for your version. If it automatically installed, then you would see a folder called DB in here. Now I don't see that, so I know that I have to go out and install the Apache Derby database in order to use that database with my Java. If you see that folder and you have the Derby jar file in there under the lib folder, then you're good to go, other than just setting your environment variables in your path. But I don't, so I'm going to show you how to install that in case you need to do so. Here I'm on the Apache DB project site, and it has some great instructions here on what you need to do. Of course, the first thing is install the JDK, which we already have. And then we're going to come back to configuring that in a bit, because you'll have to do some tweaking with your path once we get the database installed. So the first thing that you will want to do is download Derby. Now we're going to want the Windows version, so we're looking for this file. We click this link. It takes us to the downloads. Now I have Java 9 and higher. So I'm clicking here, and that basically just dropped me down a bit on the page. But this is the one that I want. Now you'll select the one for whatever version of the JDK that you have. I have 12, so I'm installing one for Java 9 and higher. So I would click here to download. I've already downloaded, so we're just going to go out and extract. Here is my zip file for DB Derby. I want to go out, I'm going to install it in a folder called Apache. So I want to make a folder called Apache, make directory. I had already done that, so it's telling me it's already there, but you'll want to create that. So if I do a directory listing, you'll see that Apache, the folder is already there. So let's go to Explorer version of that. I'll click C. There's my Apache folder. Now I have already copied the zip file into there, so you'll want to copy the file that you just downloaded, and I'm going to extract that. This will take a minute. The extraction is complete, so now I have the DB Derby folder that it created. If I double click that, I have the lib folder is where I want to look, and I call that lib because I believe it stands for library. But inside there is the derby.jar. That's where we want to point our environment variable, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. I've gone back to our instruction page, and we have downloaded Derby, we've installed Derby. So now we want to go to set the Derby install environment variable. And we're doing it for Windows. They give you instructions for Windows and for Unix. But the Derby install variable is the location where we installed Derby. And you want to make sure it's the actual location on your system, which it should match here. So I'm just going to copy and paste everything after C there, just from the word set. I'm going to the DOS prompt, and I'm going to paste that. So I'm setting the Derby install environment variable to where I just installed Derby. Okay, no news is good news, no errors. At this point, we want to set our class path. So I'm going to copy the Windows command, set the class path. We're pointing to derby.jar and derbytools.jar. You do not want to copy the period here. So I did a Control-C. I'm going to go back out to my DOS prompt, Control-V to paste. Notice that we're setting multiple paths, so we're appending to the Derby install path. That's what this %Derby install % does. You don't have to really know that, but it's important that we do it this way. And we separate them by semicolons, and we end with a semicolon. So I'm just going to press Enter. No news is good news. Everything should be cool there. Back to our instructions. We have set our class path. Now we want to change directories into that folder. I'm just going to copy this. We have a couple of batch files that we need to run. I don't know what happened to my command prompt here. Okay, so I'm going to paste that, and now we change directories, Derby install. So now we're in that folder. I'm going to do a directory listing. And let's go back to our instructions. We're looking for set embedded cp.bat, and we're going to run that. First off, let's see if it's there. So here it is. Here's the batch file. So I'm going to paste that, and that's going to execute that batch file. Okay. So now we have installed and configured Derby, and we should be able to use it in our Java programs.